Hello everyone, and thank you for joining this webinar from Aquaforest and Mahimbi. My name is Neil Pittman, and I'm the founder of Aquaforest and the head of IT Business Solutions at PSPDF Kit. And I'm joined by Clayton Fernandez from our team, who's a Microsoft MVP. Aquaforest and Mahimbi are both part of PSPDF Kit, which acquired both companies earlier this year. And the talented development teams of the two companies have been working together, and they've been combined, and they're starting to produce some exciting results. This webinar will focus on one of the first results of that, which is the PDF editor for SharePoint. And this allows users to annotate, view, organize, and redact PDFs in the browser directly from SharePoint without having to leave the browser. And this works for both SharePoint Online and SharePoint on premises. Clevin will be demonstrating this product and showing how well it integrates with SharePoint. Beyond the PDF editor, PSPDF Kit actually offers a complete suite of PDF tools and workflow actions for SharePoint and Power Automate. We'll also demonstrate how powerful it can be to combine content text editing in PDF Editor with workflow actions to automatically extract data from PDF files. Other capabilities include very strong PDF conversion and PDF compliance support. Now, as a reminder, if you have any questions, on the right-hand side of your screen, you'll have chat and question tools. But with that, I'll hand over to Clavin now for the demonstration.
Thank you, Neil. Can you see my screen?
Yep, looks good.
Perfect. So I'll start with the slideshow. And yes, so hello everyone, and a very warm welcome to the PDF editor for SharePoint Online demo. In this demo, we will see how you can edit and annotate PDF documents directly from your SharePoint. So first and foremost, the choices of implementation. There are three different choices of implementation: file handler, extension, and the web part. Functionally, all the three options are the same, okay, because all of them have the PSPDF Kit standalone uh, integrated. So when I say that, what is the difference? The difference is the user experience. For example, with the file handler, it honors the click event. That is, you directly go into your SharePoint and click on a file, and it opens in the editor. However, with the extension and the web part, you select a document and then click on a button in the file or the context menu. So that is the difference. However, again, understand this. All of them have got the web standalone of the PS PDF Kit editor. So functionally, they are the same. Next, we'll talk about the key benefits. The first key benefit would be easy installation. One thing that we take care of or take special care of are the administrators or the IT professionals. We like to keep the installation options easy. I would say the installation options are so easy that the deployment, including the prerequisites, would be under 30 minutes. We ship an installer, okay? So you don't need to go ahead and do complex point and click installation, nor you have to go ahead and run complex PowerShell scripts. In addition to that, installation also means easy upgrades. With our installer, it will be very much easy for you to upgrade our application. Secondly, tight integration with SharePoint. Our product tightly integrates with SharePoint. When I say that, it honors the SharePoint checkout and check-in behaviors. It also goes ahead and honors the SharePoint permissions. The main takeaway out here: you don't leave your SharePoint. Everything works in your browser. Robust editing capabilities. Now, for this, my friends, I would have a different slide, and I have a different slide. The next slide, we will talk about the editing capabilities that the PDF editor gives you. Next would be the enterprise level security. Now, one thing that everybody worries about: are my files being sent to a remote server? Are the remote servers storing my file? What happens to my files? Now, here, my friends, I'm giving you a closed answer. Your files will not leave your browser. Again, I'll repeat, your files will not leave your browser. Here, you are right in compliance. You don't have to worry. There is no other solution in the SharePoint space that can work like this. No other SharePoint tool can do this. All of them send the documents to a remote server. But with our solution, no, your documents stay in the browser. Finally, it supports both guest users as well as internal or licensed users. So if you have a B2B, that means you're collaborating with other companies, and if you have guest users, our editor will work. Now, as mentioned in my previous slide, robust editing capabilities. One thing that I'll again repeat, our parent company is PS Kit, and PS Kit provides one of the most advanced editors in the market. It provides a rich set of annotations. That means you can go ahead and draw shapes, include notes, include shapes, stamps, etc. You can also add electronic signatures. You can view the forms and you can fill the forms. You can go ahead and use the document editing capabilities. When I say that, you can import PDFs into existing PDFs directly in the editor. Next would be content redaction. That means removing PII information directly from your browser, from your document. Once the information is redacted, it is being removed. Next would be the content editing. This is one of my favorite features. Have you ever thought about editing a PDF document like a Word document directly in the browser? That is what we provide. You can go ahead and edit the content of the PDF and save it back directly in SharePoint. Now, when I say that, enough of talking, let's get into a demo. Perfect. So here, my friends, you see two SharePoint environments. One being the one on your left does not have the PDF editor for SharePoint. However, the one on your right has the PDF editor for SharePoint. When I click on the one that does not have the editor, you see that it opens in the SharePoint viewer. It's very basic, right? It has the download option and nothing more. So if your users have to edit the file, they have to download it, edit it, and re-upload it. Now I'll click on a browser that has the PDF editor for SharePoint installed. Here, my friends, you have the rich set of editing tools directly in your browser. As I told you, how easy it was to go ahead and open a file. And now you can go ahead and edit the file directly in the browser. So when I say that, just understand this. If you want your employees to be productive, do you want them to waste time by downloading the file and then editing it and then re-uploading it? No, right? This is what you need to give to your employees. That is the PDF editor for SharePoint. You can also see the option that is open in PS PDF Kit editor right here. Right? You'll see an option at the end as well that is for the extension or the web part. But this demo will focus on the file handler. So let me open two environments side by side, or let me say that let me open two users in the same environment side by side. The one on your left is Megan, and the one on your right is mod admin. Let's consider Megan is working from a remote office and mod admin is working from maybe his home. Both of them are planning to work on the same document, okay, and they don't know that they are editing the same document side at their places. So mod admin starts editing it. He goes ahead and draws a line. Next, he will go ahead and introduce content editing. That is, he will go ahead and edit the document directly in the browser. He'll change the content. And now let me also add a signature such that it is said that I edited the document. Perfect. So the signature has also been added. If you look at the left, nothing has updated for Megan. I've saved the document as well. At this point, Megan will start editing the document. Let's say that she goes ahead and adds a line, and maybe she also adds a signature. Perfect. At this point, Megan will go ahead and save the file. What will happen? It will prompt Megan that the document was being changed since it was last loaded. And Megan will click on reload. Okay. So when she clicks on reload, she will see the changes of mod admin, aka Clavin Fernandez. Perfect, right? So the changes of Megan are not lost, nor are the changes of Clavin Fernandez lost. Now Megan can decide if she wants to keep her annotations or just get rid of it. Now let's consider that Megan doesn't want to keep her annotations. Fine. So what she can do, she can X out of the document. At this point, you understand how does the editor work when two users are working on it at the same time. Now when Megan goes ahead and opens the document, because she did not do any changes, you see, it's reflecting only the mod admin's changes. So understand this. So if two users are working on the same document at the same time, nobody will lose their work. That is very important, right? Both the changes will be there. It's up to the users to go ahead and either keep the changes or remove them. So let's think of another scenario. Another scenario would be checkout and checking in a document. Now, many of the organization believe in checking out the document before editing. So let's consider that Megan goes ahead and checks out the document. She says, I will explicitly lock the document for editing such that no other users should be able to edit the document, right? And if I go to mod admin's screen and refresh his browser, you will see a small arrow at the right corner of the document. It tells the mod admin that Megan has gone ahead and checked out the item. That means Megan has locked the document for editing. Megan opens the document, okay? So let's see the behavior. She sees all the rich editing options. Let's say that, let's go ahead and maybe add a line. Perfect. And now let's open the same document as mod administrator. What do you expect? Yes, the first thing that comes up is that the document is currently checked out by Megan and you can only look at it. That means you are in a viewer, not in the editor, right? When you click OK, you don't see the rich editing options for mod admin. All you see that the document is checked out. So the editor is now a viewer for the mod admin. He does not have the options. And that is how it should work, right? He should not have the editing options because the document has been checked out. So here, my friends, our editor also goes ahead and honors the checkout and check-in behaviors. At this point, I'm saving the document back to SharePoint. What do you expect? Do you think that the changes should appear for the mod admin? What? No, right? The changes should not be reflected to the mod admin. Let's go ahead and see. Let me again go ahead and try. Wait, let me not check in. Let me first open the document and let me check if the changes are actually there. So we drew a line, right? Perfect, under the note. So Megan as a mod admin, yeah, it's still checked out and it is not there. So when will the changes appear? Only when, only when I check in the document. So at this point, I'm going ahead and checking in the changes and I'll refresh my browser. And here, my friends, you see that the document has been checked in and the changes are being reflected. Let's think of another scenario of how you work with documents in your SharePoint. Some of the organizations go ahead and have a setting configured. The setting would be require checkout. So it's under the library settings, under versioning settings, and the last option that is require checkout of documents. So in this case, SharePoint will check out the document for us when we try to edit it. Let's see how does this work. So I'm opening a document. I'll use the content editing and try to go ahead and edit the content directly in the browser. I'm saving the changes and I open the document as mod admin. You see, the document is checked out. Did Megan check out the document? The answer is no. Who checked out the document? SharePoint checked out the document, but our editor was intelligent enough to even go ahead and pick up those changes and display the document in a viewer in a read only mode rather than in the editor. So, this is one thing that our editor also goes ahead and honors. Very, very important. So you don't have to change the way your users are working in SharePoint. You don't have to invest in training. We take care of things. Let's go ahead and look at another feature that actually stands out with the editor. But before that, let me check in the document. Okay. So let me go ahead and open a file. And this is one of my favorite features. Okay. So let's look at it. So let's consider that I want to include or import a document in the PDF itself. Yes, import a document from PDF. I can either import it from my local machine or from my SharePoint. Here you see that I'm trying to import a document directly in my editor from SharePoint. Yes, the file has been imported. And if I go back to the editor provides a rich set of capabilities, such as moving the pages around. You can rotate pages, you can add pages, etc. And at this point, you can save the document back. Isn't this awesome as well? So you can import the files from your client machine or even from your SharePoint environment directly using the editor. So this was a high level integration of how our editor works with SharePoint. So a quick recap on what we just saw. First and foremost, the check-in and check-out behavior. Thumbs up. It is being honored. Co-authoring when two users are going ahead and changing the documents at the same time. Yes, it works fine. Nobody loses the changes. SharePoint permissions. Yes, it honors the SharePoint permissions. Guest users, yes, it provides access to internal as well as external users. Importing the files directly from SharePoint, yes, that is also supported. And another feature, required checkout, that is also supported. Now, that being said, Neil at the start of the presentation told that we provide a complete set of tools for document automation as well. So you can automate PDF workflows easily using our Power Automate actions. Both Muhembi and Aquaforest have got connectors in Power Automate. Using the connectors, you can go ahead and convert files, merge or split files, watermark files, OCR files, extract data from PDFs, archive files as PDFA, as well as extract data from form-based PDFs and much, much more. Okay, the list is very long. You can add barcodes, QR codes, etc., etc. You can also extract them, by the way. Now, that being said, let's look at a demo. In this demo, I want to demonstrate how does the content editing feature of the editor, okay, complement our Power Automate actions or vice versa. Let's say that how does the Power Automate action complement the PDF editor? Now, that being said, let me quickly go ahead and start the demo. So here I am in my SharePoint and here I have a file. The file is a PDF file, and what is there in the PDF file? It has got some values. I need to extract some values out of it or data out of it. Okay. The data should be extracted and stored in these columns. Which value? The one in the box: customer ID, address, email address, and the phone number. I want to extract these data and store it as metadata in a SharePoint column. So let's configure a Power Automate. I'll create the Power Automate from scratch because I want to demonstrate the functionality. So first and foremost, I'll use the SharePoint trigger. So SharePoint trigger that I'm going to use is when a file is created or modified. And here, my friends, I need to pass in a site URL. So I'll go back to my SharePoint, copy the site URL, and paste it in. Next, I want to pass it the library name. Where is the document stored? It is stored in demo docs. Next, I want to go ahead and get the file content because the content is where the data resides. So I'll get the file content using the get file content action from SharePoint. Again, the get file content action needs a URL. So I'll give it a site URL. And how will I identify the file? By giving it the identifier, which is the output of the when the file is created or modified trigger. This is where the real magic happens. Okay. The aquaforest actions will help us extract, I'll again repeat, will help us extract meaningful data out of the PDF file. And most importantly, you don't have to create a preset model. We do the heavy lifting for you. You don't have to worry about complex AI. We do it for you in the backend. So let's see what I need to extract. I need to extract the customer, the ID, the address, email address, and the phone number. So let me quickly paste these in. Perfect. So I'm expecting these keys. Okay. Once I pass in the keys, now I want to update these values back into the SharePoint columns. So I'll use the update file properties action and I'll pass in the URL first because where is it? It's in this site. What is the name of the document library? Demo docs. And I'll pass in the ID. Next is just fill in the blanks. I can put in the title. Here, if you see, it returns me exact keys that I need to update. It will have the values, by the way, and it's the Aquaforest action. So let me put in all the values, that's as address, email address, and the phone number. Now, one question might come up in your mind. Clavin, the source and the destination is the same. Will it not lead to an infinite loop? Yes. For that, I'm going ahead and creating a trigger condition. The trigger condition will be such that whenever the file is not edited by the user by the service account, trigger the flow. Okay? When the editor is not equal to the service account. And at this point, I can go ahead and save my flow. Perfect. Ignore the uh, warning, I would say. We have taken care of the trigger condition. So time to go ahead and edit the document. If you see the values are 1234567 for the ID and the email address is box@box.com. I'll update it with something meaningful. So I go into the editor. I start the content editing. And at this point, I will go ahead and update the document. Yes, I'm updating the document just like a Word document in the browser, right? I added my name, I added the ID. I'm going ahead and updating the email address. And that is how easy it is to update a document using the PDF editor for SharePoint. I'll save and close the content editor and I'll save the document back to my SharePoint. Perfect. So the document is saved. Now, let's wait for a Power Automate to trigger. So my flow is running. If you see, the get data from PDF is doing the analysis on the PDF and is trying to extract the keys value pair or extract data out of the PDF. And again, isn't this wonderful that you don't have to go ahead and create preset models? We do it for you. And here, if you see, the values are still the same. But as soon as I refresh the browser, you see the new values are updated. So isn't this awesome? Isn't this how easy it would be for your end users to extract data out of the PDF. In addition, wouldn't it be easy for your users to extract or edit the files directly from the browser? Now, what you have seen is just the tip of the iceberg. You can do much more with this. You can go ahead and extract forms data and put it in columns. You can add watermarks, you can add QR codes, you can add barcodes. I can just keep on telling. You can split documents, you can merge documents, and so on and so on. So the list is really long when it comes to the Power Automate actions that we provide. And most importantly, the actions complement the PDF editor for SharePoint. So let's look at the implementation comparison. Okay, this is very important because you might have asked yourself, Clavin, why the three implementation options? This is the answer: file handler, extension, and the web part. You can deploy the file handler to the whole tenant. Similarly, the extension and the web part. So you don't have to worry about manually deploying to each and every site collection. We'll do it for you. You can do a global deployment. Second, you restrict the availability or the deployment to a specific site? For the file handler, no. Now, why no? Because it's a Microsoft limitation. However, for the extension and the web part, yes. During the installation, you can specify the site collection to which you want to deploy the extension or the web part. Dependency on external web application. Yes, the file handler has it and the extension. Don't worry, you're not sending your files, you're just hosting the code in an external web application. For the web part, it doesn't have a dependency. You can store it in your app catalog client assets folder. And you don't have to do it, we'll do it for you during the installation. Supports the click event in SharePoint. Yes, the file handler does it. The extension and the web part, as I told you, you need to select the file and then click on the file or the context option. Support for external and guest users. Yes, you can do it for the file handler. You cannot do it for the file handler, sorry, but you can do it for the extension and the web part. Available for OneDrive for Business, file handler has it, extension and web part no. All of this is Microsoft limitation, okay? Then finally, available in Teams. Yes, the file handler is available for Teams. Extension and web part, no. But I'll give you a secret out here. Very soon, Microsoft is going to go ahead and support extension and web parts in Microsoft Teams. And as soon as they do that, we will also go ahead and support it. Time for installation, as I told you, it's up to 30 minutes. Now you'll say, Clavin, why 72 hours? You install it and leave it. Microsoft can take up to 72 hours for the file handlers to be reflected. To be honest, it appears in a couple of hours, but they say up to 72 hours. For the extension and the web part, yes, less than 10 minutes. So that's the implementation comparison. So finally, I would like to thank all of you who have joined this webinar. I hope that this session or this demo was informative. And yes, thank you for your time. We are open for questions.
Thank you very much for that presentation, Clavin. That was great. We just had a couple of questions relating to documents staying in the browser, and I tried to explain that when you're performing an action such as reordering the pages in a PDF, all of that manipulation can, with the PS PDF Kit library, can take place inside the browser using the code that's been uploaded to the browser from our deployment, and therefore we don't need to send the document elsewhere. But there's a question from someone else said, I'm not sure how things can happen in a browser. Surely it's either client side or on a server. So it's happening on the client side.
Yes,
maybe you could elaborate a bit on that, Clavin.
So it happens in the client side. First and foremost, we use the WebAssembly, which is also named as WASM. So basically, your files never leave the browser. So your files stay in your browser. Nothing leaves your browser. And that's pretty much it. There is nothing going out of your browser or into the internet.
Great, and I know that can be a security concern for some people, which is why I think we chose to mention it. So I think we're good now. I don't think we've got any other questions. So thanks again, Clevin, for that excellent presentation. Hopefully everyone found that was useful. And please visit the Mahimbi website for more information about the products and methods to contact. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.